Hello, everybody, and welcome to Social Thought. Social Thought is a podcast consisting of in-depth discussions on the community, locally and nationally, pop culture, and politics. With a county legislator, a journalist like myself, and a DJ, the discussions can go anywhere. We implore you to explore your social thought and join the discussion and make your voice heard.
I am a man just doing the best that I can. Head to the sky as I stand for the wind to create his plans. When my time comes to an end, play this for my biggest fan to let them know I'm far from perfect and refuse to play pretend. I realize there's nothing wrong with having flaws. They're in us all. It's that acceptance that keeps the weak from the strong. The faster you can embrace them, the faster you can evolve. So hopefully you will right after this song.
When I fall.
We getting started already.
Anyway, so Lil Rapper, he 12 years old. Lil C note, C flat, Lil Trouble.
He's a national.
But wait, do you believe that every generation needs its own voice? We got a caller on the line. Go ahead.
Good evening. You already know what it is, Phil. Hold on, brother.
Castile, nobody's talking about him. Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell, all these people who were killed by police, who we protested about, and now since the trend is over, it's no longer on Twitter, it's no longer on the news, it's not anywhere that we can see it or gain some type of power from it.
We've created this because we want to give a voice to the voiceless. Speech and the freedom of that is very important. Welcome to Social Thought, everybody. I'm your host, Michael. We're back after a very, very long hiatus. We are back, and we definitely missed you all. I know I missed you all, and I know my hosts have as well. And with that being said, let's introduce these beautiful, beautiful people. First up, I got the queen. Lovely India Ivana. What's going on?
Hi guys.
You've been on vacation? You've been working. That's what you've been doing.
Yeah,
you've been definitely been working. Next up, I am about to introduce, you know who, the man with the plan, the funny guy. What's up? The insight is real. Lou is in the house. What's going on, Lou?
What's up? Good to be back.
Welcome back. Were you on vacation?
Yeah. I'm always on vacation.
And then, of course, we have to introduce the one, the only. It's the king.
How long should I keep my hand up for?
I don't know.
See the social thought? Can you see it?
The whole show.
The whole show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I got mashed potato arms. You know the arms that are big, so you know good mashed potatoes going to be at the cookout?
Yes.
I got the Star Jones flap. You know what I mean? I can't be holding up for that long.
We starting already. So everybody that's joined the live, please definitely hit that share button. You already know. Yeah, you already know. You didn't forget. Hit that share button. So the episode is called Back Like We Never Left, and we have a lot to catch up on. Today's topics include the tragic passing, the beautiful life of DMX. DJ King Apollo himself has created a mix in memory of DMX. Also, this is a topic that DJ King Apollo brought up to me that I definitely want to talk about. Usher throwing Usher bucks.
Let me tell you something. He was making a confession, and the confession is that he was making confetti. He was out here making it rain with fake money.
Oh my God.
No.
Like that alliteration, confession, confetti. I'm a battle rapper.
No.
Right. And I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to watch the show yet on Amazon that came out, but we're going to be talking about them.
Wait. India says she ain't watching it.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to watch it. It's scary.
Ma'am.
I'm scared. I'm legitimately a scaredy cat. I just can't watch it.
First of all, I'm pretty sure you've lived in some underdeveloped areas that you seem scarier in life.
Shut up.
We literally just made a joke right before we went live talking about the whole Brooklyn and Syracuse just came out of India. So
only on occasion.
And then, of course, the main topic, which is our most serious one, is going to be the conversation about the community and policing. As you know, there's a lot going on with the Derek Chauvin trial. There's a lot going on that happened in Minneapolis where another young man was killed by police by the name of Dante. And then in Chicago, a young boy, a 13-year-old, was also shot by police. And, we're just going to have that conversation about the community policing, our thoughts, your thoughts, and let's get it started. So, DJ King Apollo, I want you to get this topic started for me here. Let's talk about Usher throwing them Roblox or Robux.
Robux? The D chips?
You know,
his 2K currency.
I freaking cannot.
Let's talk about that real quick. I'm actually interested in that. If you could just bring me up to speed on that, and let's talk about that there.
Okay, so over, I want to say the weekend, probably like a week ago, Usher was seen on Instagram with a bunch of like hundreds and 20s in a clear suitcase, but they all had his face drawn on it.
Oh my gosh.
Right. He then proceeds to go to a strip club and make it rain. Now, obviously, it's Usher. The man gave us some of the greatest R&B hits of our generation. Mike Davis can tell you.
Confessions.
Whole album.
Right. Anyways, we get into this argument all the time. But he then proceeds to allegedly throw these fake bucks in the air.
So wait, where was he at when he did this?
I know he wasn't at KOD's because them girls would have really got stupid.
So, from what I'm seeing, it looks like he went to like V Live, which is in Atlanta. And you know how Atlanta strippers be taking their money seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't go to P Valley with the M-I, crooked letter I. All yeah. And, what? Anyway, but so it looks like he went to V Live and threw his money up, and the strippers was like, "What's wrong with you?" Because he out here throwing up Wally World bucks. No, I mean, when you used to go to school and you used to have the fake dollars that the teacher used to cut out, and then they would give it to you, and then you can return it back to them for like a pencil, some gum, or something. Usher must have thought the same thing, but only it's his face on the money.
Yeah, it looks like it really does look like. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put it in the camera so you can see it. It really looks like like a real thing, except it's
please put it in the camera to show. Please do it.
Wow, that's a pretty good rendering.
Right. I need a guy.
I feel like that could quickly go unnoticed.
Right. But not what he said.
Maybe that was his whole premise. He's like, "Yo, I'm about to pull a fast."
I mean, it went unnoticed until the lights came on. See, look at that. $1.20.
It went unnoticed probably until they actually touched it, because I'm gonna tell you right now.
Let's just say this was an ongoing thing, and this is the first time people are just coming out about it. Like he's been buying everything with these bucks.
So this didn't happen in he should have did. He should have paid that girl off with these bucks. Maybe she wouldn't have came forward. Anyways, so this happened in Vegas. This didn't happen in Atlanta. I thought it happened in Atlanta. This actually happened in Vegas.
Yeah, I told you, them Atlanta hoes, they ain't playing about their bread. Now them Vegas strippers, they ain't real strippers. They suck anyway.
Did he catch a charge for this?
I don't know. I don't think he should have just let the money burn. I don't think he got a charge for it. Yes. I'm a father now, so I'm doing dad jokes all day long. Anyway. So yeah, but
I'm surprised he
Why?
didn't get some sort of
Why,
some sort
Usher?
of
Why? Like,
He's
okay,
tripping.
so
you think he's hurting?
India,
Or
how
you
do you
think
feel about this? Let's say you were a promiscuous young lady and you were a strip club in Las Vegas. Now, I mean,
Why
how
I
do you
gotta
feel
be
about this?
promiscuous to be a stripper?
You paying for school to be a doctor. Anyways, let's not worry about the semantics. All right, I've seen enough adult movies with a terrible setup.
Well,
So
back in my day, if he would have came to my club with them fake dollars, he would have had to go and get a fake nose and everything that continued to follow. He was getting jumped and beat up. Or he better have had a charge card to swipe with it, because
Nah, he was just going to sing a classic real quick, and I was going to let him slide.
you'd be surprised. Strippers are worse than the mob. You don't play with their dollars. They don't play about that shit, girl. What?
And he's like, hold on, dude, hold on.
More
Let me
stuff
just
you gotta put up with
for you
too,
real
and the ugly, greasy ones that be on you, and the funky ones that be on you, and then you got the horn dogs that be on you, and it's just like, ugh. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
So I'm not going to ask.
Yeah, I mean, she's saying is after all the skeeves are all over you, and you know, then somebody comes in, you think he's got some money or whatever, you get a little excited, and then you get dubbed with the Monopoly money.
He's not. I promise you, he did not leave that club without giving up some bread, some real bread,
okay.
some real bread.
So you think the owner's gonna say, "Listen, Usher, sorry, man, you can't leave. You ain't leaving."
Absolutely.
Of course, he was like, "Hey, Usher, you seem to be caught
They get
up."
a percentage for that. Then you
let's
gotta pay. It's like paying booth rent at a barbershop, or you get a percentage off of the dances and the cabarets. You daggone right. And you gonna have some upset strippers. Just imagine 20 upset women. Shoot, just imagine 5.
So so you're saying they told him, "Listen, Usher, you're gonna pay up, or we're gonna break your fucking legs."
Yeah. Yeah. Basically. You
And
can't
he's like, "All right,
you can't.
all right. I was just playing around."
He was in the background trying to do choreograph. There was like, "Sir, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. We don't care." He was like, no, yeah. No. Okay. I didn't think y'all was gonna turn on the light so quickly.
Put the lights on real quick.
I can't believe.
All right, so Lou, how would you feel? Let's say you're a security guard at one of these lovely clubs. How would you feel?
You get a tip
security guards. Yeah, because security guards also get tipped out of this for helping make sure the girls collect all their money, and you out here helping them sweep up everything. And now, I mean, you out here got monopoly money. How you feel?
I'm not having it. Sorry, Usher.
Usher?
Just gonna violate the man name.
Sorry, Usher. Ain't happening, bro.
I'm a person that you know that as a DJ.
First of all, I'm thinking to myself, he spent some coin to get his face perfectly designed on those bills anyway. Somebody drew that shit up.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't.
First of all,
maybe somebody did it for, somebody did it for a favor or whatever, but I mean, it looks like pretty good drawings. So, no, he's definitely got to pay up, man.
I'm just upset that he gave himself a lineup, like on the dollar bill. Like each dollar bill was
he's
the crispiest lineup I've ever seen in my life.
A dollar bill you ever saw.
Bro, like the presidents on the actual dollar bill lineup don't be crispy. All their powder wigs be looking shifted. This man Usher was like, "Nah, you ain't gonna catch me slipping. I'm gonna go to the barbershop with real money so I can take a picture with the fake money so I can be up there in the strip club."
I wonder what his whole premise was behind it. Is it just a big joke? He's like,
was it like a video? Did they like film it and like maybe gonna use it for like a video or something?
I mean, I'm not hearing anything as of lately in terms of any video or a joke or a prank, but like maybe it's because he feel like he's not really in the popular eye and he needs something to bring himself back. Like, you know how we used to say how celebrities do crazy things to promote like a movie or like music or something like that. Maybe this was maybe he's coming out with a song called Fake Bills. And you know what I mean? Like,
So maybe he's lining up a promo for a new EP.
Yeah, and I mean something that has to like something has to make sense because there's no way you went to Las Vegas with real money and a bunch of your friends and looked at them and go, "We're finna throw fake money." Like, I can't even get a bunch of my real friends to throw real money at a McDonald's menu. You serious?
And I just want to let y'all know I left because you guys were talking so bad about Usher.
Boy, bye.
Y'all not gonna mess with Usher like that.
First of all, the only reason why you like Usher is because of his V cut, and he out here spending V-bucks in Las Vegas.
Listen, man, he was throwing real money. Everybody out here talking about cryptocurrency and everything. Talk about Dogecoin and Bitcoin. It can't be Usher coin.
No.
Sir,
Mike's on to something here.
My bills do not get paid for Usher
Talk to me. Talk to me, Lou. Talk to me.
I'm thinking Mike knows something that we don't know. I mean, maybe Usher is trying to jump on the whole crypto wave, man.
He's killing me with this Usher.
Usher bucks, baby.
Yeah.
Yo, who knows, man? I don't know. You don't know. He don't even fucking know.
This episode is also, I just want to let you all know this episode is sponsored by Social Punch. Get your Social Punch today. Y'all forgot
well,
about
actually,
Social Punch.
it's sponsored by Social Punch and India's Being Healthy, so it's sponsored by water. And Lou's going through something, so it's sponsored by Jergens lotion.
With no explanation.
Oh man, it feels so good. It feels so good to be back and seeing the comments. And Rich is back in the building. So
Hi, Rich.
You guys. That's true. You need something to be quiet. He said something about a beautiful sidekick. I don't know, especially you guys' beautiful sidekick. I don't know. She's not much of a sidekick. She's more of the. She's made the main show there.
I'm the main feature. No,
she's the main thing.
Okay.
First of all.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
I'm the one they come to see. I'm just not pretty like India, but I'm the one they come to see.
I cannot. Okay.
John Carlos trying to join the thing, but he doesn't have a camera. He doesn't have his face is not in it, so I'm assuming that his connection is not too good. So I'm not gonna let him in until I see his face.
So what you saying is John Carlos finna catfish us?
Oh, there you go. There he goes. And everybody
pop up like Kelly Price
to the stream. Yeah, this guy.
Not this guy.
John Carlos gets $100.
Yeah,
I've never even seen you in a hat before. And backwards. Like, what's going on? Why does he look like that?
This man, right? He got Usher bucks and then went and robbed Job Lot real quick.
First of all, why John Carlos' glasses like it's connected to his nose?
Looking like Tupac Shakur was back for a minute.
Yeah, we
can't. Now you have no audio.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
How you doing, bro?
Chilling. So let's talk about.
So as you guys can see, the full crew is back.
Down.
Yes, Shauna.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yo.
Yes.
Shauna said, "India, it's the nails for me."
Okay, honey, it's always the nails for me.
You know what time it is.
She got the clickety clacks. You know the clickety clacks.
The grabbers on.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna leave it at. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, that's exactly where you're gonna leave it at.
Right.
So yeah, again, I am extremely. I mean, Usher got money. See, this is what I don't understand because Usher has money. So why is it that he's in the strip club throwing Usher bucks? Was he doing it? He has to, as somebody did state, Usher does have an album coming out. So, a lot of celebrities or musicians, artists, these people, whenever they have an album coming out or something that's about to happen, they always pull these publicity stunts to do something to get their name in the news or whatever. So I'm wondering if it had to be one of those type of moments. Or maybe he was just like really drunk.
I'm going with Usher coin.
I think he was trying to he threw the fake money to have these strippers to be lovers and friends.
Oh, love.
I'll be here all night.
Ooh. Usher, baby.
Usher and Bitcoin.
That's all he was saying in the club. His own
I'm
sound effect.
ready.
He was like,
Said it like that, Usher, baby.
"It's Usher, baby."
No. I'm done.
Anyway, so
Yo, the whole
Come on,
time he's
Mike.
throwing the dollars, he's like, "You got it back."
Yeah, Usher dad jokes all night.
you gotta be permanently banned from the club after that. When you walk in, you gotta see Usher's whole face on the wall when he go and talk about it. Make sure he's not allowed in here anymore. That's it. That's it.
Nah, but
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say this. I truly and honestly feel like he did that, but I don't think that he didn't give the money. Like I feel like he did that, and I think that he definitely paid whatever it is, like the equivalent in actual real cash. Because in that business, in the business that he's in, you can't be going around doing that. You be signing artists and stuff like that. You be managing people. You got business, multi-million-dollar mobile. You can't be out there giving out fake money to these. What?
Right.
So do you think it was like a Usher bucks like trade in? Like when you were leaving, you had to trade in your Usher bucks for real bucks?
That's
Yeah, like when you go to Chuck E.
Like
Cheese.
I'm gonna pay y'all, but I gotta get all my Usher bucks back.
All of them. I want even the ones that you slid. Yeah, I want those ones too.
And don't come up short with my. Don't come short.
Wait.
Yo,
Usher's
he
a
was
pimp
had
for
his
his
pimp
own
hand out.
fake money.
I wonder how long it lasted.
32 seconds.
I'm gonna be real. In my club, straight 10 seconds. The second he'd have put it
Music
on
would
the
have stopped.
table.
What the?
What's this? What's this?
He was like, "It's Usher, baby."
That's exactly what he said. How do you think he walked out of there that night?
If he'd went to TNA's by the bricks, he'd have got beat up before he hit the door.
Y'all are terrible.
I can't stand you. Was there really a club by the bricks?
Yeah, there was TNA was by the bricks. They had a drive-through option. That's the first strip club I've ever seen with a drive-through option. Hand them out, bro. They had a menu, but it was like different dances. Like it was a number 2, it'd be like something like a number 3, and then you drove around.
You're lying,
bro. I put that on everything, bro. Hand them out, bro.
So,
bro, he's not lying.
So rounds of lot 7 for your number 7.
So so hold up. So I just gotta we gotta jump on to the next topic. So let's talk about this. Let's final comments on the Usher Bucks. India, you first.
Final thoughts.
Get
I know. My final thought would be: don't come into my strip club giving me no fake money. I think there's something behind it. I definitely think that he definitely did at least give some real money. And if he didn't, Usher, when I get famous, I'm not taking no IOUs from you. Real cash only. Don't come over here with no bullshit, okay?
Right. Lou.
I think he's trying to get like a season pass going, like Call of Duty type thing. But you gotta earn your Usher bucks, and then you get to buy stuff from the season pass.
I'm done. I'm freaking done.
Giancarlo.
I think it's a great stunt if he's doing it for a marketing thing for his album. I think it's phenomenal because I don't think anybody else has thrown their own printed money in any other club. I think it's a hell of a marketing scheme.
I feel like other artists have done it. It's just that it's Usher. I just feel like the less known. I feel like that's just something Soulja Boy would do.
No, Soulja Boy is too busy making fake Game Boys.
He wasn't a hard son.
It's DJ King Apollo.
I said Soulja Boy is too busy making fake Game Boys.
What's the name? What you say? Soulja Boy? I said Usher Boy.
Fake Game Boys.
Usher Boy had his own video game console.
He's saying Usher.
Okay, so Lou remembers.
Oh my gosh.
My final thought is this. Usher needed an Usher or else he'd have seen God. Because if you'd have went to the strip club, you'd have been. I've been to Atlanta. Personally, I went to Blue Flame, and I know how them strippers get.
Not a game.
And besides, Yeah, ain't enough black light to. Nah, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
And exactly, especially from where
What
he
you
went.
were
Like I
saying
said,
is that
they
that
just got
point.
trash bag strip clubs. I done been to like one of the most biggest, baddest strip clubs, and I was the baddest one there. I couldn't stay. I don't like all them. They're all anyway. Yeah, they're trash. Their strip clubs are trash. But you can't go to KODs with that bullshit. No, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. All right. So on to the next topic.
Like
we
that.
do that. I do just want to tell you guys to take a look at this real quick. Hold on, y'all. Just take a quick look at this over here on the side. So if you can see these awesome products, Simply Design. What we have is we have some really cool, a really cool bonnet here. It's pink. It's hard to see, but it's very comfortable and it's interchangeable. You can always go to sdsimplydesign.com. It's interchangeable. It's because of the lighting. I'm sorry. The lighting is not too good, but these bonnets are very comfortable. They're beautiful. They're awesome. Also, they sell masks and bucket hats as well. As you can see, this awesome bucket hat for all you, New York. It's legal now. So, you definitely want to get you one of these. It does fit very comfortably. One of my favorite styles as well and everything like that. So remember, sdsimplydesign.com. Check that out. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and all that other good stuff. All right. With that being said, let me roll back over here. So with that being said, we're going to jump into our next topic. I'm bringing my host back into the show for this one. All right. So the community, especially the Black community, has been rocked very hard recently by the tragic passing of Black Rob and, of course, DMX. Okay, DMX, who is an icon. Black Rob is also an icon. But the biggest thing right now is that we lost DMX, who just got us lit through our childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like Black Rob did, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? All that, and I love it. But, DMX, man.
Stop, drop.
You know what I mean?
Open up shop. Hey.
Let me tell you something. I was at a baby shower yesterday. Shout out to my boy Troy. I was at a baby shower yesterday. And at baby showers, you're supposed to do like baby shower games. A whole bunch of baby. Listen. Listen. When I tell you, I didn't know if I was at a club or I was at a baby shower. I was just different. So my man was playing some DMX, and it just got me up because you know what I'm saying, like I'm a little grown now, so I can't like really party like I used to. My knees don't do the same thing that they did back in the day. So I do a couple 2-steps and my ankles and my knees start hurting. But when my man played DMX last night, oh my gosh, man, I was like. Yeah, I can't dance, but
Not even a smidge, baby. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, X touched a lot of people, man.
No, honestly,
I remember being in junior high, man, and even see the kids with the Jinko jeans on that would cover their sneakers, had the DMX shirts on, and they even had the Wu-Tang too, because Wu was fire. But I mean, X was just, everybody loved X. I mean, he had something for everybody, and it was just a legend, man. It's fire.
Yeah, the man is a legend. And the crazy part about it is that you never realize how much music you know and understand from DMX until, you know what I'm saying, somebody just starts pulling out the catalog and you're like, damn, I knew this one. Damn, I know that. Damn, I know that. You know what I mean? So it's like, the real thing that we have to look at when we talk about this tragic death, because what happened is DMX OD'd. and he lost brain activity and everything. He was basically a vegetable, and the family was faced with a very hard decision for a good week about if they wanted to pull the plug or not.
Yeah.
So, his manager was very kind enough to let the public know, daily on how his state was, and we were getting a lot of mixed signals as if he was recovering or not. And the saddest part is when they started to say that he had no brain activity. That's kind of when you knew it was, the end of the line for that one. But
yeah, we knew it was coming at that point.
It was just a matter of time at that point. But we've been hit hard with a lot of deaths this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not just deaths, but tragedy. And I was just talking to King Apollo the other day. Remember what happened with Dr. Dre, where he had a brain aneurysm? And everybody was talking about that. And then all of a sudden, nobody was talking about it. So is my man good? You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Black Rob.
Not too long after X.
Right.
He passed away yesterday.
My homegirl was talking about how, like, if you look at celebrities, that a lot of them die in threes. And she started naming off some, and I was like, wow, like, she's actually kind of right. And whether it be like a couple weeks or like a month apart is true. Like, it's a little weird. So she's like, somebody else is gonna pass, which is sad to say, but
no, it's a very sad thing. And to lose such legends, who are just so young in this game. And again, that's another thing that we just have to take into consideration and just really recognize. Giancarlo and I, we talk about this a lot, is just the mental health in African Americans, in Black and brown people. It's just, we have to have that conversation. We need to have this depicted more. We need to allow, the parent and the child, the teacher and the student, to have that conversation about mental health, because especially in Black and brown communities, because again, our communities are disproportionate. So we're more likely to fall or to be victims of mental health issues, drug abuse, all types of abuse in general. So again, that's the conversation that we need to open up and have. And DMX has had such a tragic life. You know what I'm saying? Even though he made it to the top of the top as a star, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, he was still declining as a human being. No, he was rising, he was declining mentally. And even at 50 something years old, you know what I'm saying? No amount of money is going to make you happy, as you can see. And, tragically, he passed away that way. So, let's get into the comments, get into the conversation. So, DJ King Apollo, I just want to hear your thoughts and how you feel about his death, and, how we should look at mental health and, drug abuse and all that as well.
Well, to piggyback on India's comment that she said earlier, let's not forget that was it Prince Philip?
Yes.
Queen Elizabeth's Queen Elizabeth's husband also died the same day DMX died. So death did come in threes. Mm-hmm. It was DMX, the Prince, and then Black Rob. But we don't really care about that because England was racist. So
and a globalist.
Right, spheres of influence. Anyways, I do remember that from.
And a globalist. Just I'm good.
Don't start.
Go ahead. No, we're gonna let Lou get into it, but finish your comment.
No. I'm just saying that the Prince was a globalist, and who cares? Yeah.
No, I want you to get to your comment, but I definitely
no, it's cool. Yeah, no.
We gonna let
Pablo, that's all you, brother.
You're on the clock. I
know. So as a DJ, obviously, we're gonna play. First of all, weddings are not the same unless you hear "Up in Here" by DMX. Like weddings, that's like a wedding staple. Like whether you're African American, Caucasian, it doesn't matter. Like you want to hear that song. Also, let's not forget about the time where DMX rocked out a whole continent. Like that. Like watching DMX grow as an artist. Like even in my younger years, like listening to his music and stuff, because like I said, I've been in like different parts of the country, so listening to DMX like was like different for me because they're not gonna play a whole lot of DMX in Georgia because they got like Southern rappers. So like remember, because don't forget, like at the time when I was growing up, Georgia claimed, well, not I'm sorry, Outkast was like, look, you ain't gonna find no better music than the South. So to hear DMX in the South, he was like, all right, cool. He obviously broke that mold. Then DMX was saying in certain, like in Drink Champs and in other interviews, like, hey, he got laced at the age of 14 when he was trying to smoke with his mentor, and his mentor hooked him up with some wet. If you don't know what wet is, look it up. And from there, he's been battling with addictions. So, like, obviously, like, which sucks because, like, the whole thing with like Snoop Dogg giving him his flowers during the verses, he was like, "Look, big homie, now I mean, this is what you did for me, and all this. This is why I'm giving you your flowers now." So when he passed, it was like, damn. Like obviously, DMX had a lot to live up with, but like musically, he was like royalty.
Yeah.
Like to watch somebody like, all right, he made it at the top, like Mike said, but like he was still at the bottom mentally. It's I don't know, it's just like it's a weird middle because as a musician, you want hits, so you don't really care about a person's mental. But as a human being, you got to ask people, "Hey, are you okay?" And I feel like DMX didn't have a whole lot of "Hey, are you okay?" kind of people around him until it was too late.
You gotta listen to this song. I'm gonna find the title of it, but Reason. If you don't know Reason, he was just recently signed to TDE. I believe this song called Fall. It's either Fall or Gossip, one or the other. I gotta find it for that. But he spoke about in that track about how the industry, what it does is how they literally set you up with, you know, they eliminate the people you come up with and they set you up with a bunch of yes men around you to just, you know, feed your ego and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you look again, we have to have this conversation about, you know, mental health, you know, and drug abuse and everything in the Black community, because again, like look at someone like Kanye. Everyone always wants to point the finger at Kanye and talk about he's crazy and he's this and he's that and he's acting. Dude, it just always looks like he's crying out for help. But Lou, you were I want to get you in the conversation, and then I'm gonna go to India and then Giancarlo. Oh, well, all right, let's go to India.
Nah, my first 3 CDs, TLC, DMX, and Eve. And I literally like played the cover off them bad boys every single day. And that's where I got my gangster from. You know what I mean? When I get upset, I put my X on, I get stupid. I get you know what I mean? So it definitely hurt my feelings to see that. But as far as you were talking, when you were saying like, you know, the mental health issues, it's interesting how everybody thinks about, oh, they want to be rich and famous. They want to do all this extra stuff. You know, you want the perks and everything to it. But at the same time, like, look at what all these stars, all these celebrities, look at what happens. And there's way more than a few. Way more than a few. Most of them have drug problems. Most of them they might have started off normal, average humans without any real mental illness, but eventually all the stress, and then there comes anxiety and everything, it just builds up, and then they turn to all these drugs. I mean, shoot, look at Lil Wayne. He just got caught like a couple months ago on his plate with crack. You smoking crack? Like, who smokes crack?
You know,
you're a billionaire, a millionaire. You smoking crack is cheap. What are you doing? Like, and it's crazy. It's sad. I know. I my get it on the floor. Get it on the floor. Get it on that. First of all, that was my jam. Okay, that's a song I learned how to twerk to. I'm a little upset. Like DMX with me and him was supposed to be on a track on like in an interlude or like little beginning, some intro or something like my nigga. We supposed to do that together. Can't do it now. Tight like a tiger. Tight like yoga pants. What? I'm affected.
No, it's absolutely tragic. And I get it. That's again, and that's every artist's dream. You know what I'm saying? Me, you as an artist, you as a singer, you want to be able to get on a feature with your legends. That's your goal in life. You know what I'm saying? Me as a journalist, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to interview this person.
Right.
You know, like I always said to myself, like the people that I always want to interview was Michael Jackson. Always want to interview Prince. I want to interview Denzel, DMX. You know what I'm saying? These are artists that I want to be in front of the camera with. You know what I'm saying? To have that opportunity. And it's like, we have to, it's like we always gotta, step on eggshells when it comes to our legends because you never know who's next when it comes to these folks. And Lou, I just wanted you to put your 2 cents into this as well.
Yeah, I mean, a couple classics, right? How's It Going Down? What These Want From, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of classics, man. I mean, X had the jams, man. It was Dark and Hell Is Hot. It was a fire album.
Word. Flesh of My Flesh.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of work with the Lox. I'm a big Lox fan, so I mean, it was Rough Riders, DMX, the Lox, that whole camp. They even had a little stint where it was. I think it was Jay, Ja Rule, and DMX. They were supposed to be like Murder Inc. Like when it first. I believe it was the three of them that were doing a little bit of they had a little trio going on, but they had like a falling out. Because X was just his own, he did his own thing. So he really, when it came to like meshing and getting that group up off the ground, I mean, I think X had a lot to do with that falling out there because, just the way he was, his demeanor and everything like that. He was, what the problem with X is he could never get away from the drugs, no matter how hard he tried.
It's tough.
It ended up being his downfall. That's the sad thing. So we talk about mental health and, drug addiction. What the drugs are doing to the community is, hard drugs like, heroin, crack rock, these things it's not a one-time thing.
It's tough, man.
Most cases, if it happens, it's going to happen again and again and again, especially without any intervention. And just then, you lose some great talent and energy. As far as, what's going on with them as of right now, and their spirits, who knows if they're even at peace, live such a hard life like that. And to go in such a fashion, it's sad, man, because it was only 50 years old. So there was plenty more that could have been done. And, he could have left a lot more for his family had he made better decisions. And, but it is what it is. It was a great artist. And a lot of people have shared a lot of great experiences with him, in public and live events and stuff like that. So he's spoken very highly of. I never met him personally, but his music definitely touched me. And I was saddened when I found out that, that he was even in the hospital. So
yeah, it's terrible, man. It's crazy.
He was a bomb performer. He was so dope on the stage, like even at his old age. When was he up here? Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? At the Chance?
I think he did Woodstock too. I think he did Woodstock.
My man Ryan,
99.
My
Like,
man Ryan Fasciano of Popcorn and Cleats, man, stated that was the greatest concert he's ever been to in his life.
So let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a big Summer Jam kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same show. This is so crazy. The same show that I seen DMX live was Prodigy's last show, and then like So the following I think months after Prodigy died.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this huge DMX just have like a way. Now this is gonna be offensive to somebody because of 2021. DMX has a way of bringing a hood N-word out of you. It don't matter where you at. It don't matter what kind of person you are.
I was at a baby shower yesterday, bro.
Bro, let me tell you something. If you hear the phrase, if I'm going to bring it to you, ponder, then it's better be quick.
Yo.
Bro,
we know that
you
one.
Get dumb. That line alone gets me dumb hype. Bro, like, forget the beat. Forget Swiss beats. All the back, and don't forget, listen, like you had the Rough Riders anthem, like DMX also gave us Eve. At the time, Eve was probably one of the best female rappers of the generation.
Hello,
she was. At the time, she was. She was.
Like,
rough,
come on now.
Riders.
Like that whole.
Y'all. Yeah,
you can listen to any like old school DMX right now, like. Granted, like some of them don't age correctly because of this whole cancer culture and whatever else.
But I gotta ask, and forgive me if this is a dumb question, but did the the whole Rough Riders movement and everything with DMX, didn't that put Swiss Beats on too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't even freaking think about
that, man.
Well, Swiss loves X.
Like you got to think like there's like it's always remember how we always talk about like 7 degrees of separation, like
right.
You know somebody to know somebody,
mm-hmm.
Bro. You got to think like what if DMX is your center, bro? Everybody who's connected to DMX, bro, you profited in some way,
right?
Come on, Swiss Beats is probably one of the greatest music producers of our generation. I only say one of because he still got to beat Timbaland.
I'd have to agree. You couldn't deny that.
Like, there's Eve, there's most of the Rough Riders family. Like, DMX alone could carry a concert for hours, and you wouldn't complain once.
The Rough Riders actually just signed an agreement with the city of Newburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, explain this, sir.
Yeah, they're doing they have a program going on in the city of Newburgh to mitigate crime, violence, criminal activity. And Mayor Torrance Harvey, he arranged a whole program with the Rough Riders, and they actually came to the city. Jada came to the city, and this is all just recently. So yeah, it's been a good movement here for
everybody. Breaking news heard on Social Thought.
Yeah, the mayor of Newburgh is making some positive changes down there, so he's doing pretty good. Shout out to Mayor Torrance Harvey. And the whole city of Newburgh doing their thing. But yeah, so yeah, Rough Riders, city of Newburgh, big collabo going on with that.
That's fire. That's dope.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the first time I've heard shouts out to the city of Newburgh, and that was a good thing.
I don't know because never mind. I'm living through party right now, so if anybody asks, sometimes I'll be like, I'm from Newburgh, so I'm dating Megan too, like So
first of all. I can successfully say that I met Party because the whole Millie rocking on stage with him, but that's a whole different subject.
That was a big one.
Yes, sir. I was here.
Yeah,
I was one of the main focus points in the dancing group for the Newburgh Illuminated Festival.
Yes, you were.
So finally, Giancarlo got a stable connection.
Newburgh Illuminated. That's a good movement, man.
What are your thoughts?
A really good movement.
DMX.
Oh, he's all high definition now.
I know.
You have a mohawk?
He got Wi-Fi now.
He finally looks like a Roman Catholic pastor.
300, the sequel.
Yeah. I think with DMX, like everybody has already stated, I don't think anybody who grew up in the '90s could grow up in the '90s without listening to DMX. I listened to his first album when I was really young, Flesh in My Flesh, Blood in My Blood, and there was everybody loved him. I lived in Mount Vernon, so Yonkers was right next door to there, and everybody who was anybody listened to DMX. So for me, DMX was the first rapper I ever listened to because that was what everybody was listening to. But I saw a post when he passed that said that even though he was troubled, we knew his humanity through his music, and it was through his music that through all 5 of his albums that we could hear that the bro's been struggling for a long time,
right?
A very long time. And then for me, now that I'm older, it like you mentioned, Mike, having yes men around you, it posed the question to me, like, who the fuck was around this man that he can go from the age of 14 to the age of 50 and receive no type of help, right? And so who are the people around him? One, if sometimes people who have addiction don't see help because they want to cover the trauma, right? And I think DMX throughout his life, as we know, that has had an immense amount of trauma as a child, and I don't think he ever took the time really to address that, but covered it through his addictions. And it's unfortunate, that DMX passed in this way, but at the same time, that his vulnerability is what really made everybody connect with him. Like, damn, I really feel for X. Damn, you know what? I've been through that same shit. Finally, there's something that I can connect to, right? I'm not alone in my problems. There is somebody like a DMX going through the same shit. It made him human for us. DMX was the most human celebrity for all of us. Saying we felt that we could touch him. We felt that he was tangible for us. And so I think really that is DMX's legacy, as how human he was, because of how related we could be with him in our pain. Right, we always had pain with DMX because either through our own personal lives or we felt for him. But I hope that from this we're able to have like you mentioned, like a bigger conversation about people of color and mental health and how important that is. People who go to see a therapist aren't people who just have severe mental illness. There are people who have some real deep rooted trauma that they need to unpackage in order to move on with their lives, to avoid things like addiction, right? So I think that this will open up a conversation about people of color in therapy. That this opens up a conversation about people of color in addiction, and how and basically people of color, well, toxic masculinity, right? We can talk about toxic masculinity where someone like DMX, was the toughest dude out there. He would knock you out, but he would rap about his trauma, and you wouldn't challenge his manhood because of it.
Right.
So hopefully a conversation about what manhood is can come out of DMX as well. So I'm appreciative of his music. I'm appreciative of his legacy because when I saw Rough Riders and DMX, it made me want to ride a motorbike. Like I wanted a motorcycle or 4-wheeler right there.
Dad made my dad give me a dirt bike for my birthday.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to do the wheelies, pop off, all of that.
We all did, man. We all wanted a bike. Honestly, man, it was because of DMX and the Rough Riders why Black people in general just wanted a bike. I remember my dad picked up a dirt bike when I was younger too, man. It was all because of that. But let's go to our final thoughts.
And also to my last point, I think we have to address DMX and himself as an actor. He was in several movies, with Jet Li, and it was promising as well. So, hopefully there are bigger conversations to come out of DMX that now we can have because we've lost him, but we've also experienced him as well.
Absolutely. Do you want to end with a final thought? Or was that your final thought right there?
Yeah, that's my final thought. Rest in peace to DMX, to his family, and again, hopefully this opens up a bigger conversation about manhood, about mental illness, about addiction, and about trauma.
Absolutely, Lou.
And then there was X, man.
And it was X. Nice. India.
I don't know no Keanu. Okay? Y'all talk about all these movies with Jet Li. What about Belly? That was my favorite movie. Okay?
Classic.
Rest in
Very,
peace,
very
X.
good film.
Rest in peace to X.
Facts. DJ King Apollo.
Two things. One, rest in peace to Black Rob. I know I made a joke in lieu of it, but hey, that's how I am. We'll talk about that later on the side. Secondly, I hope they start playing DMX's Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like they do with Bing Crosby and all that.
Which also my man Ryan Fasciano says is the greatest Christmas song of all time.
Come on now.
And X.
I think we need to get we need to get permission to utilize that on our Christmas episode.
Right, absolutely.
I'll make a mix with all Christmas.
We're back and we're in full motion, y'all. We're back. Social thought is
right.
I just want to let y'all
Let's
know.
make that happen. Let's get the permission to air that on our Christmas episode.
Again, my final thing is that rest in peace DMX for real. And a wise person once told me, I don't remember what their name was, but a wise person once told me that the best thing you can do in your adulthood is go to therapy. So don't deny that. Don't deny that. So
also, DMX on the Touches remix is the best remix of all time.
Who watched them? Raise your hand if you watched them. All right, cool. So we're gonna touch really quickly on them. And then we're gonna get into our final topic, which is community policing and everything. So, for those of you that have Amazon Prime, I am recommending that you watch this show called Them, created and produced. I think produced and directed. Well, produced by Lena Waithe, right?
Yes.
So, Them is a psychological thriller and horror show about racism. That's basically it.
Period.
like what this show did was it brought not only the actuality of racism in the 50s, but it also brought the psychological effects and the horror that is racism into perspective of how the mentality kind of personified it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you, not just the reality of it, but even like in the whole dream world, and again, mental health and the psychological effects of it and everything, of what racism is and what it does to the person, how it breaks a person down. The show follows a black family who moved from North Carolina to Compton, California, when East Compton, when Compton was all white. And basically it just follows the tragedy that they lived through, where they lost their child, and them just trying to get away from just a dark racist South, and come to a community where they felt like they were going to be more welcomed and open because, of course it was the North. It was more of the North. You could say, well, it's the West, but more of the North. And how everybody sees California as the mecca of equality. What I'm saying? Everyone sees California as the mecca of equality, but during this time, California was just as bad as it was down south, and them actually portrays that in a way which is just crazy. DJ King Apollo, your thoughts on it?
All right, so a couple things. Are we giving spoilers? Yes or no?
Yes, yeah, a little bit. Give spoilers.
All right, couple of speaking moments. The husband, they did touch on the effects of African Americans in the war. They did do that.
Yes.
Mother effing cat in a bag.
That broke my heart, bro. That episode broke my heart.
Hey,
if y'all ain't watching episode, man, if the episode 5, baby, episode 5.
I mean, yes. So the span of us. Also, it's a episodic series. So the span of us is like 10 days. They moved in within 10 days. Everything happens.
I thought it was 11.
No, it's only 10.
Okay.
Because in the front, they said this is what happened within the 10 days of them moving to East Coast.
Okay.
Right. So a couple of things. First, F word Betty. All right. Betty's a high key racist. Like,
right.
Wow. Like she's one of those, we got to do this for what's right.
Right.
For what's white.
Right.
2, like I said before, cat in a bag, because that was traumatizing.
Broke my heart, man.
Bro, I couldn't. I'm not gonna lie. If my old lady wasn't beside me, I'd have been like, "Yo, I can't watch this," because that was tough. That was tough, and she got plus, bro. That was tough. 3, I like how they kept the horror aspect inconspicuous until they shoved it in your face.
Right.
They kept the, especially with the Miss Vera, they kept that away. Like they kept that, all right, hey, this happened, but I'm gonna keep it away from you. Cool. It just also, it showed like how different versions of trauma. Because the wife had her own trauma with the beginning of the episode.
And you just wanted to, the whole time you just wanted to be like, yo, why is this lady so crazy? But it all made sense.
Right.
4 episodes. 4 episodes in, it didn't make sense until 4 episodes in. Well, 5 episodes in, because it's the 5th episode.
Right.
But
right. So 4 episodes in, you just like, all right, maybe she's doing this. Maybe she's being a little extra. That 5th episode, that's what cemented into like,
that's when
all
you're
right,
like, wow.
Territory. Also, can I just say personally that I didn't understand episode 10?
Yeah,
because
it was weird. It was weird.
The random witchcraft, like, did she start when she walked into the house? I don't know.
So that's what I was a little. See, everything was making a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Everything was making a lot of sense until that final episode. That final episode is when I was just like, okay, so
the final episode seemed a bit rushed. Like it seemed completed and rushed at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was like, all right, we're going to summarize their story. Know what I mean? But then also not. Because like when she was going to the friend's house and then the friend showed up in the house, but she was already dead. Like, was she real?
Right. Listen, y'all, all I got to tell you guys is that if you guys have not seen it, please, I recommend watching them on Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure you got a friend that do got it. So
another show to look out for is not like them, but it's a comic book show called Invincible.
Woo! Watch Invincible, y'all. Yes.
Right. Are you up on it?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So if you're a comic book guy like me and Mr. Mike Davis, watch Invincible. It's really good. It's on episode 5. Them released everything, but it I'm not gonna lie, it gets to you. It gets to you. It's like one of them things where it's like when people be like, oh, I'm not like my ancestors, but then it show you like some Caucasian people are just evil. Like
it's crazy.
For no good reason. No good reason.
With that being said, we are going to jump into our final topic of the night. And I'm gonna bring back my hosts. Yeah. Yeah, I waited for you, India. Bring back our hosts for the final topic of the night. And again, like I said, if you guys time out, what happened? Are you on mute?
Oh, I was about to be like, did you just mute me? Anyway,
Carlos frozen.
got question.
Wi-Fi.
It's scary though, right?
No.
It's
The
not really.
preview the preview scared me.
Yeah,
So it's not scary. It's traumatic. Have you seen Us?
traumatic. Yeah.
No, that's scary.
Have you seen? It's like a thriller. It's like a thriller. Like
Okay.
it's like that weird Alfred Hitchcock kind of thing. Have you watched Lovecraft Country?
Great show.
I didn't have a chance. I didn't get into that, but it was like that. It's more.
That's a great show.
That is a great show. That was amazing.
Is that the one that's on HBO when she rips out of somebody's body?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You know,
I don't remember that scene.
You can definitely catch it on HBO. I don't recall anybody ripping out of anybody's body though. Not off the top of my head.
And she was like ripping the body off of her.
Oh, Lou, that did happen. Remember when she drank the potion? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of stuff that happens on that show.
So we're about an hour and 5 minutes in, so we gotta jump into the next topic. I'm sorry, yo.
There's another good animated show too called Primal. It has nothing to do with anything but
yes,
yeah,
by the guy who made Samurai Jack.
Yeah, Primal. It's great. Even if you want to sit down with your lady friend, me and my woman, we sit down, we watch it, we love it, and there's no words in it at all.
It's just a caveman and a T-Rex.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Am I the only one in this group?
All right, ready?
And it's also like it's
I'm about to mute
not
you.
For the thing of art. It's not for the thing of art, right, Apollo?
Mike, talk about your police brutality. I don't know what I'm pointing to, but I'm pointing to somebody.
All right, go on. All right, so here we go. So final topic of the night, everybody. We're going to talk about what's been going on, and you can almost literally say it's post-COVID because, like, things are starting to get back into shape the way it is. Like, I mean, we have almost 40% of people fully vaccinated, which they're looking for to reach herd immunity to reopen states and everything fully. We've had 40. I think we're at 47 confirmed mass shootings so far in 2021.
Yeah, one just happened like yesterday, right?
Yeah, today. I think one happened today.
Yeah, it was like was it like a hotel?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Continue. I'm sorry.
And then, of course, on cue as well, we have police brutality going on in these streets. Excuse me. Ooh, getting a little acid reflex. We got
the Rough Riders talked about a lot.
Okay. Police brutality in these streets as well as again, as I said, the Derek Chauvin trial is now going, I believe, it's either in the closing statements or it's in the verdict's hands now. I mean, it's in the jury's hands now. And also, the young man, Dante Wright, who was killed by a 38-year, is it 28-year police veteran, Giancarlo? I'm sorry.
Right. Who
28
taser on accident.
28-year
26 year
veteran. We want to talk about the young Army gentleman that was pepper sprayed for not having a license plate. Right? I guess he was pulled. It was a traffic stop for.
It was for registration.
Not having tags. When the tags were on backlog, and the police stated that two journalists that the tags were basically on backlog, and he knew that, but still had somebody go out and do whatever. And then, of course, we could speak about the young 13-year-old Adam Toledo, who was also shot by a police officer, which Giancarlo may not like my opinion on it too much, but this is why this is why social thought is what it is. So let's talk about it. Policing, the conversation, the community. Why is there such a major disconnect? Why is it that we are still, in 2021, where there are body cameras, where everyone is out there filming, where everybody, police and people, both know. Because again, if you watch the full video of the police officer trying to reason with the young man in the military about, oh, you know, a lot of people are not trusting the police and Black Lives Matter and this, that, and the third. If we have this understanding, why is there still such a disconnect between people and the police? Who wants to go first?
I don't think
structural issue.
I don't think there's a universal disconnect. I mean, I think there is a disconnect, but I don't think it's universally. I mean, in some communities, you know, the police do have, you know, good relations with the citizens. But however, I think it's important to know that you cannot have police officers that are in fear. That's the number one problem. You cannot police a community that you have fear of or
But
be
how
in
do you
fear.
catch that? How do you so the question that I want to ask is, when you say that, right? How do you find those or weave those out? How do you know the officers that are fearful? There has to be some type of track record that they have. Someone like Derek Chauvin, for example, 18 complaints, but is still in the force. There are a lot of people that get discharged or are fired, but are able to be hired within another community or another state or another, you know, bureau.
Yeah.
So
I think the continuity between records is important as well. Bringing that up, I think, you know, there has to be some sort of continuity between background checks and record keeping that is sort of universal when it comes to you know, hiring not just law enforcement, but I mean it goes for any. I mean, you can't. It's the same goes for a teacher too, you know, because there's teachers that, you know, there's type of misconduct that happens in that field as well. So I think some more research needs to be done into the mental health portion of the assessment prior to the onboarding process, right? And you know, a more thorough check into the mental health, along with, you know, any records, you know, that may be outlying somewhere, you know.
So who else wants to take the stand next? Giancarlo. Oh, wait. It looks like India wanted to say something. Hold that thought, Giancarlo.
India just look upset. I think what Lou said has a valid point, that the police cannot police a community that they fear. Hence why in many areas, specifically here in Dutchess County, and specifically in Poughkeepsie, there was a rule that you had to live in your community in order to become a police officer. That has been done away with 15 years ago, right? And the reason from that was because there weren't enough people from the community who wanted to become police officers. Now you have people coming from different jurisdictions, different areas. There's police officers who police the city of Poughkeepsie who live in Westchester County and know absolutely nothing about the residents, have no connection whatsoever. They're here from 9 to 5, and then they go home to Westchester County. So I think number one is that we have to address, who are the police officers? Where are they from? Where are they coming from? Are they coming from our immediate area? If not, why? If there is a lack of recruitment, then what is the problem? Two, we have to look at, okay, how many people of color does this department have? We have to look at the demographics, right? If law enforcement does not reflect the community, then there's a problem there. Right. So what does recruitment look like? Is it a civil service test issue? Civil service test has been strategically and historically disproportionately against Black and brown people. Right. So there's a lot of questions there to ask. Is that, okay, what is recruitment looking like? How come the law enforcement is not looking like the community? There's a big structural issue. The issue is the structure. not just in terms of its employment practices, but also in its ethical practices. Someone like you mentioned, Mike, Derek Chauvin had over 18 complaints about his misconduct, and yet nothing was done about this, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this led up to George Floyd, right? So it's a big structural issue. We have to look at the structure, and once we look at the structure, then we can see all the holes that are there and begin to fix it. Here's the thing: the police don't want it to be fixed because they are comfortable where they are. You have centuries old unwritten rules within law enforcement that people are okay with. You know, there's no bigger mafia than the police. And so we have to look at that and say, okay, how do we try to, as people of color, or as someone like myself who's in government, how do we try to kind of knock the doors down in a system that has been in place first to hunt down Black and brown people, number one, and then number two, break down the unwritten rules that are within the structure of law enforcement that have been happening for hundreds of years. So
now, oh, sorry.
There's a lot of layers to the complexity of, you know, what we're getting at police reform, right? And unconscious bias and all of that stuff. But I think also what we need to start doing as Black and brown people is really start holding people accountable. You know, when we see shit go down in our communities, yo, don't be afraid to step in, even though it's and in my humble opinion, you know, if for the people that were there watching George Floyd, you know, Derek Chauvin putting his knee on his neck, if there was 15 of us right there to grab that, bro, there would be no issue there. You know what I'm saying? And that may not have been a reaction for everybody, because who wants to get involved in that and possibly get themselves hurt?
It's
right?
tough
But
because I
at
mean
the
the
same
thing is
time,
that there was a crowd around them. There was a crowd around them.
but that's what I'm saying. If that whole
There's a-
crowd
you know,
pounced on that brother and say, "Yo, get the heck up,"
but
or
are you though? You know, and there's that unwritten
that's what
rule
I'm
that
saying.
you're not going
It's
to.
not.
There's just that unwritten rule that you're not going to.
Well, you run the risk of becoming a victim yourself.
Exactly.
Right,
You run that
exactly.
risk. So
You run that risk as well. But I don't know, man.
Bunch of people
It's
start running
one of
at the
those things, like
cops.
when I saw that video, and he's you know, you have a grown man in his 40s yelling out for his mother, no matter in what condition he's in. That
The
has to
dude
hit you
shouldn't
in
have
a
been
way-
on his neck.
That has to hit you in a way that is.
yeah, that was
I
sickening.
couldn't imagine.
It was
I couldn't
horrible
imagine.
watching it.
India, because we gotta move it along. I'm sorry, India. Your
I
thoughts?
just wanted to mention a couple of things. Have you guys watched the short film Two Distant Strangers?
Yes,
Yeah.
just watched it a couple days ago, and it's a beautiful depiction. Imagine living your life over and over again. Imagine if that was your afterlife, that you have to live it over and over again to try to get to your
Your
destination.
dog.
You know what I'm saying? If
Bro.
anybody has not watched it, watch Two Distant Strangers on Netflix. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I'm sorry, continue.
It's terrifyingly beautiful. I've watched it now 3 times.
Mm.
Each time I see different symbolization of things. If you look, one of the final times that his life was taken, if you look at his blood is the pool. His pool of blood is the shape of Africa.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's so, like, there's so many different things in each one too, like every time.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched it, I cried, like, hysterically.
Mm-hmm.
Was crying in my house. But I was watching Law and Order yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4, what is it, like 3 months ago is when they had their first episode. And if anybody knows Law and Order, SVU, they keep up with the times. And their first episode of the season basically depicted Karen in the park. And this gentleman basically
Anatomy.
it was no, but that's literally what it was though. They were literally taking real life like situations and putting it in there. And so it was a Karen in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Police were called. They ended up finding a body in the woods automatically because this Karen accused this black man, and this black man apparently had a warrant, but the warrant was simply just because of protesting. Long story short, it ended up they were unable to find or get the actual guy convicted because the police had already basically profiled this black man. And now the jury's sitting there, and it had went viral. You know, there were protests on it and stuff like that. And it went viral, and everybody that was in the jury, in the grand jury, were questioning now the DA and the system and all of those. But they had the right guy on the stand. But because this had already happened to lead to this, nobody would trust anybody. And it actually gave you a really good chance to see both sides of the fence. Police and the system and, you know, the judicial system. And then also see, you know, us as in society, black, white, Spanish, no matter what, and see what we're going through and what we have to deal with, and then how we're supposed to just get it together. And it doesn't. But in the most recent episode, it kind of backtracked because obviously this had started a lawsuit. So it backtracked, and Olivia, yeah, no, Olivia Benson, my girl. Anyway, she has spoken. They were having like a sit down prior to trying to what is it called? A mediation. And they were supposed to be doing it with the lawyers and the initial black man who was basically accused and stuff like that. And what happens is she ends up telling him all these things and steps and as far as what he should request and what they should demand, because they were trying to do a settlement and pay him off. But he's like, no, this needs to get done. This needs to get done. This needs to get done. And it was very insightful because it's like, well, then if those are things that are the ability to be done, then that's what we need to be asking for.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as far as like, let's see. I've had my fair share of run-ins with police, whether it be, you know, getting pulled over, chilling on the block, getting arrested, whatever. You know, I've had my fair share of run-ins, and I can say more times than none, I've always been fearful of my life, and I have a very big fear of police because of things that I've seen, the way that the society is, me being a black woman in America, and just like a lot of the stuff that happens. Like I was just talking about the Dante Wright situation with a friend earlier, and I'm like, it first of all, it sounds crazy for you to say, one, I thought it was my taser, and then another time had also made a statement in regards to I didn't mean to shoot. So
Yeah,
that right there,
that's crazy to me.
That exactly. That right there is just like, so because you thought it was a taser and because you didn't mean to shoot, that justifies you taking a life?
Yeah.
However, we're in 2021 and you're a black or brown man in America. The way that you reacted to your arrest was not smart. At the end of the day, if you watch two different strangers and you see the end of it, and it says, if you watch it all the way to the end, it's like credits. And they have all the names and they go through and they be like, oh, this one just had Skittles. This one was just at the park. This one was just selling movies. It's the littlest things that we don't do or that we're doing that mean nothing, that are everyday things, lead people to be killed like this.
Yeah. And
you should know better.
I, you know, India, you know, there is a lot of truth in that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of truth in that. And I gotta let Duran get his statement in, and then we can have this debate about, what can be done different, why it needs to be done different, and all that type of conversation. We come back to that, but I just need to get Duran to make his statement.
All right. So first things first, y'all hear about Daniel Prude? So he was the African American in Rochester that
Mhm.
I guess at the start of COVID they put the mesh bag over him
Yeah.
and
Oh yes.
right. So I just
Because
read
he was
on I don't
having,
know
they stated that he was having a mental health episode, but
right, but so I just read that none of the cops are going to be charged with his death,
Yeah.
mm,
even though they caused it. I just read it on the New York Times. So here's the thing. I think, and I can't say, oh, defund the police because we're gonna need police, right? But I feel like there needs to be a retraining done of police officers. If you're at any job and they involve something new at your job, they retrain you on old and new. Am I wrong?
we are. See, this is something that me and Luke can attest to as well, about job training. I'm saying you want to understand, and you want to understand the lengths of that job training, right? You can be put in a job training position, right? You can have those lessons, you can be taught those lessons, you can go into meetings and have all that done. But are you taking in those? Is the job being responsible in you making sure you retain and learn that information, or are you just going there or are they just saying, okay, we taught this person, boom, all right, go out on the field
All
and do
right.
what you got to do.
So as the mediator of knowing what you and Lou do when it comes to job
Mm,
description and explaining your job,
mm.
as one of your members, let's say, or followers, or whatever, you can't expect everybody to be a sponge. I get that. That is correct. But it makes no sense. Prime example, last movie I watched, American Skin,
Mm.
where the guy son got killed by an officer because he thought he was reaching for a gun. There was no gun. And he held up the police station and he made his own jury and all this other stuff. Really good movie. I suggest you watch it. But I feel like when it comes to the police officers, we need a start of something like big. Cause it's like at this point we don't care anymore. We can't be in fear of trying to call somebody to help us out.
It's going to be legislation. It's. I mean, that's where.
That's true, but obviously that's not working either, Mike. Obviously, you
But there
can't
hasn't
sleep in
been
your
no
own home.
legislation in regards to
You,
that.
what like what you can't sleep in your own home. You can't be in your own house when the cop forgets her own keys because she lived downstairs and you live upstairs. You can't be in your own house. John,
Hold on.
okay, John Carl's gonna come
John
back.
Carl, you're gonna have to come back, bro. I'm sorry. I think you
You
froze.
can't be in your own house. You can't like at a certain point like it's getting to be like the cops are forming their own militia.
Well,
And like
because there's a union. I mean,
well,
a union.
obviously, but yeah, like you can say all you want, like how the boys in blue back each other, but like you like as a black male, you can't do nothing. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't do nothing. All right, cool. This last young man that died in Chicago. I watched the body cam. Me personally didn't see a weapon. Mike said he did. He threw behind the fence. Nah, I mean, but the cop was like, "Hey, hands in the air." He didn't even finish his sentence. Boom, shot him in the chest.
And again, that's it. And that's why I want to wait for John Carl to come back, because again, this is. Did you guys get the chance to see the Adam Toledo video? There's a short video. There's a short version. There's a 9-minute version.
Mm-mm.
All right, so again, that's why I kind of want John Carlo to come back.
Okay, so when he come back, y'all can have the debate. But I'm like saying, like when it comes to police officers, India, I'm happy you brought up the SVU episode because I watched that thing twice because I
The
needed
first one or
something.
the one that just came out?
The both.
Okay.
Both, because they did a follow up and I really enjoyed it. And besides, I needed something so I can watch Stabler and Organized Crime. But like, I feel like as a black male, like when it comes to the police, like it's like, do I really want to sign up to die. Like that's a weird thought to have. Like coming up, it's not even like saying like all cops. It's not even saying like all cops are bad. Because Mike, we know good cops.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. Yeah, we know good cops, but it seems like
we
right. We
DJ
bro. We DJ the whole wedding.
I've been pulled over by some really honestly. I've been pulled over by some really great people. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been pulled over for speeding, knowing that my ass was speeding. And you know what I'm saying? Just having a conversation with the man, having a conversation, oh, sorry, John Carlos back. Having a conversation with them, we've all been pulled over. We've all had situations where we've had good people that pulled us over. We've also had situations where you knew that you had to be wary of what you were going to say to a person when they pulled you over. You know what I'm saying? My thing is like, as India was stating, and this is where we can get into the debate conversation, right? India said that in 2021, right? I said earlier, it's 2021. You would think that we would be conscious enough, us as a people, as a state, as a country, would know at this point that we need to realign how we police. We have to realign how we approach a situation with police officers. We should just be conscious at this point in 2021 because it's all over the world now. It's everything is recorded. Everything is going on. You can't hide from that. You know what I'm saying? Police should be wary. Police understand that there are a lot going on and that the community is upset. The community is bothered. At the same time, India states that at this point, people should know what could trigger something. Is this a valid conversation? Is this something that's valid? Is this something where we say, okay, listen, you know what I'm saying? We as Black people, we know anything could trigger our death in a second when it comes to policing. So do we comply? And do we just say, you know what, man, we just gotta be wary and just say, you know what, let's just bite the bullet and just whatever happens, happens.
No.
Or do we just fight back and say, nah, this is wrong. Don't do that. No, don't touch me. Don't do this. Don't. What's up? Like, let's talk about it.
Honestly, I think I have my view on police. I believe that we do need laws, right? We're governed by laws, and we do need that. So there is a place for police to be. But like I mentioned earlier, I really think that it's a structural issue. Like, yes, police officers know that in times like these where there is there's not tension, but a distrust between the police and the community, that we're watching, right? But that doesn't take away racism. That doesn't take away institutional racism, structural racism. It doesn't take away someone's unconscious bias or their bigotry. Right. So those are certain things that it doesn't matter how many hours of training you give somebody, right? But it's also really difficult to find out because a person is not walking on their forehead saying that, oh, unconsciously I'm afraid of Black people, or oh yes, I'm a bigot. Yes, I don't like women, right? So it's difficult to do that. But that's why it becomes so important that within law enforcement that you have people in law enforcement who are from those areas. It does not make any sense for someone from a differing neighborhood or a differing county to come in and police that county. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was growing up in the town of Poughkeepsie, and even when I was younger in Mount Vernon, where I was a kid, I would get into things, and the police was from my area. So he knew me. So instead of pulling out his gun, he says, you know what, knucklehead, I'm going to take you to your mother and she's going to deal with you. So there was an understanding of, okay, I know these kids. I know these kids are knuckleheads. So I know how to approach them, right? I know that I can, if I'm a police officer in the area of Poughkeepsie and I have a relationship with the community, I know how to approach these kids. I'm not always going to go for my gun.
So what happens in a situation where people from Poughkeepsie are not applying to be police in Poughkeepsie?
Here's the thing. There is some research out there that there have been people from the area applying, but have not been chosen, or they have been chosen and have been put somewhere else. Right. So there's a lot of structural, again, like I can't say this enough, that there's a lot of structural racism within law enforcement. And until that is addressed, and until us as people of color, really take a really big stand and say, you know what, I'm going to start voting people out. Because when we talk about law enforcement, we're talking about some elected officials, right? When you look at your sheriff, that's an elected person, right? And so when you look at your police officers, you can go to your PBA, your local public benevolent association, and make petitions to take them out, right? So this really comes to the politics. And when we are knowledgeable about the politics that are around us, we can make the confident stance and redirect our energy to do the next step after the protest. Right? Because we can protest all day. I can march all day, right? I did that for months, during the spring and in the summer of last year and during George Floyd. We did all that. But where we missed the mark was voting. The same people kept getting elected every year. And so the same bullshit reform came out every year because there was no representation and there was no stand by any of us. So we really have to get more involved politically, honestly. And I'm not just simply saying that because I am a politician. I'm simply saying that because this is what I see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The people who want to keep the status quo the same come in lockstep.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And for those of us who are trying to change that, we have to do the same. And nothing will change until we start doing those very same things. And the thing is that we're bigger. We're much bigger than the opposition. We're much bigger and much more smarter than the opposition. It's just we fail to organize or take the very next step, which takes a little bit more effort and is a little bit less trendy.
All right, Giancarlo, I'm going to go to Lou on this now.
I mean, he touched on a lot of points. It's definitely institutionalized. The whole.
Now, I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, Lou, but I do have to ask you a question because you know what? Now you actually have a son of color, right?
Yeah.
You have a son of color. So do you feel like when your son becomes a teenager, when he gets to that age where he's going to start driving or he's just going to be out with his friends or whatever, do you feel like you're going to have that conversation with him? That talk?
For sure. Absolutely.
You have to have it before then.
Way before then.
Yeah.
Teenager?
Way before then. And, I kind of tell him that now anyway, like that, I tell him that, people will try to diminish what he has, I do. I mean, even though he's young, but I speak with him, I try to speak with him as an adult and have one-on-ones with him every so often and say a few words that I'm hoping will stick with him, especially in times where he may be frustrated or, he may be upset about something. I try to take an extra moment to convey to him why he may be feeling this way and that, there's a reason for that. And, I'm going to be here with him to work through it. But I try to, be as straightforward with him as I can, even at his age, so he can have the knowledge that I already have and accelerate, why should our children have to learn what we've already learned through their own eyes?
Because
I don't understand that.
Because it's something that is still ongoing in our community, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents,
so many gems that we can pass to our children through our own experiences that can alleviate, and even in the way we communicate with them.
Well, my father worked overnights at one point. My father worked overnights, when I was really young, and he was arrested, you know what I'm saying? And he was profiled because he was coming home from work at like 4 o'clock in the morning. He was coming home from Fresno's, if you guys remember Fresno's in Galleria. You know what I'm saying? He used to work there. And he worked overnights, and I think it was Fresno's. Honestly, I can't remember honestly, but
Fresno's. It was by
Fresno's. But he was coming home one night. I think he was coming home one night because my mom needed him because I guess she was pregnant with either me or Andrew or Shauna or some one of us or whatever. And he was pulled over, and when my dad is super tired, when all of us are tired, our eyes are bloodshot. You know what I'm saying? So the police assumed that he was high, and they profiled him and they arrested him without no explanation or anything. You know what I'm saying? So, these are the experiences that my father passed down on to me. And again, I date a white girl, you know what I'm saying? So, and I've been pulled over, numerous times with her in the car.
And she looked young.
I've been pulled over with her numerous times in the car, and they look at me crazy, and they're like looking like, is she okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Recently I got pulled over for being her DD when we went out to one of her cousins' birthday parties. I said, yo, have fun, drink, have a good time. So I was her DD, and I'm the one that ended up getting a breathalyzer test after I told the cop 6 times that I didn't drink.
Yeah.
And they pulled me out the car.
And you smelled alcohol probably too.
It's crazy. Just to backstep or backtrack real quick. Like, I know you were talking about your son and the conversation you want to have with your son, and it's so crazy. So my nephew is of Black and brown descent. He's
a black cop.
He's Spanish and Black. Not a black cop.
It was a black and white cop.
Okay.
Black cop came over to me, and it was a female, and she was just like, where you coming from? Her cousin's party, blah, blah, blah. You drinking? I said, no. Then she left, came back. You sure you weren't drinking? I said, nah. Then the white cop came over and asked if she was okay. And then asked me if I was drinking. I said, no, but she has. Goes back to the car, runs our licenses. I drove her car, by the way. Come back. He goes, all right. Them both were like, step out the car. We're going to do some tests. I'm like, why are we doing tests? I'm not drunk. I didn't drink. Did the test, did like 6 tests, and they were like, oh, you're good. All right, have a good night. Just let me go. I was like, dude, come on, man. That's the I get it, man. I get that they're trying to do their job, and you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, come on, man.
They were trying to hit you with a ticket, bro.
They was trying to get a ticket. They knew what they was trying to do. But anyway,
they're trying to do something in anything.
I had to vent real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But
it's like the one time I got pulled over by a cop. She comes running up to the window. She goes, "Are you drinking, mother effer?" And I'm like, damn. And I'm like, no, officer, but he is, because my buddy in the car, he got a beer. And she's like, next time you see me, mother effer, you put your seatbelt on. And I'm like, okay. And then she just walks back to her car, and I'm just there with my seatbelt off. I'm like, all right, I guess I should put this on right now.
That's so aggressive.
It was the strangest thing ever. I was just driving. All of a sudden, my buddy's like, yo, a cop just went by. I'm like, oh, right behind me, runs up to my window. You drinking, mother effer?
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, no, he was drinking. There's an open container in my car because he's drinking. I'm not. She don't even care about that. Her main goal was telling me to put my seatbelt on next time I see her.
There was another time when me and Kylie were driving in the car. It was the second time. Another
No,
time.
I wanted to say something before y'all go too far.
My fault.
Before y'all go way too far. And y'all done been 2 stories too far now.
All right, go ahead. My
Thank
bad.
you. So, like I was saying.
And I also got this story this one time. And,
Anyway, I just wanted to touch on something. My nephew, who is Spanish and Black, but lives in a predominantly white neighborhood and goes to a predominantly white school and has suburban, non-urban like culture that he's being raised in, but he's the Black child. Around the events after George Floyd, I had to sit down and talk with him because no one else did. And he turned 9 today. And I remember him distinctively telling me, Auntie, it doesn't matter that Black lives matter. Everybody's life matters. And I felt like he had this conversation. And mind you, the family, I love them. And they're not consciously racist, but for you to have a Black boy that looks like a Black boy who now wants to lock up or braid his hair, you know what I mean? And he looks Black. He is not white at all. And you raising him to tell him that, oh, all lives matter and there's no need for these riots. Granted, you know, we don't want to see riots, but these protests and stuff like this, they're just going overboard. And for him to say that to me made me feel like they're coddling him and that he's not going to be prepared for when he gets older.
Yeah.
So when I try to sit down and have a conversation, and he's very, very smart. He's very, 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 very advanced. So when I try to have a sit down conversation with him, it was almost as if I seemed like the racist because I'm like, no, you don't understand. They hate you. Like, not they, but like people, there's a lot of hate in this world and you are the pinnacle of it. And you need to understand that and you need to know what to do when you get in situations, when you get pulled over, when you're with your friends and you're out at the mall and a security guard wants to get stupid with you, when you're in school and you get stopped by your principal, you're in a predominantly white neighborhood and friends and school. And it's like, how do you tell someone that's technically, this is not my kid, how you have that conversation with a kid who's already been told, oh, all lives matter, blue lives matter.
You want to know what a beautiful thing is, man? I just feel like a beautiful thing is when you come to the, you know, the conscious well-being of being so comfortable with other people's uncomfortability. Like when you just get to that point where you're just so in tune with yourself and you could give a F about how somebody else feels. And how uncomfortable they feel about you and your thoughts and your opinions, how you view life, and you know what I'm saying, they just have a problem with it. It's like, hey, I ain't lose no sleep at night over how you feel. So
there's a lot of that, man.
Some people tell me all the time. Some people tell me, why do you get into debates with people about certain things? I was like, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to be all right.
Right.
Yeah, like.
I will be okay.
Sometimes I just like to debate with people just because. Just to see how emotional they get. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's just real. It's the conversation that you have to have. And it's generational. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's my parents had the conversation with me before I was a teenager. Before I was, because you know, not only being a person of color, but I'm Latino, and so we had to deal with immigration issues, right? And so it's like, hey, you know, when you're in the street, be careful if you speak Spanish or not. If you're around more white folks, speak purely English. Don't try to connect with anybody in Spanish, because if you do, that may bring up bigger problems for you. And so for a lot of time in my life, I didn't really speak Spanish for a while. I didn't indulge in my language like that.
Word, because I didn't even know you know how to talk it.
So I didn't
I thought you just
indulge
looked
in any of that whatsoever because of that. And also my parents. There were times where my parents would, even though they struggled with their English early on, would try to hammer their English in around certain people because they didn't want to be misconstrued as immigrants or have a case where they could be deported. Right. So those were tough conversations to have. And it sucks that with India, with your nephew, that his family is kind of coddling him because
ignoring it.
Say it again.
It said they're ignoring it.
I don't mean to.
Right, exactly. It doesn't protect him.
We gotta start
There's
to wrap
no
up,
protection in that.
We literally got a minute. Everybody, each person got a minute left to say what they gotta say.
So it's really, I'll take my minute now. Is basically that we need to have those conversations with our young kids as young as we can, and have those continuous conversations as they grow, because it becomes vitally important, really, to their livelihood. This isn't just a conversation, for school or for a DARE program. This has to do with your life. That it only takes one cop having one bad day, and it's over. No matter what age you are.
And it shouldn't even be a thing, man.
But we have to take those precautions.
They gotta leave their emotions at the door.
But they don't. You understand? And that's the troublesome thing about being a person of color, is that we live in a completely different reality than our counterparts. And that's what our counterparts don't understand, is that it is not the same for us. It is absolutely not the same for us. And so until our counterpart understands that, until we as people of color take the next step in our protest, like voting, like knowing who our elected officials are, so we can take them out and put ourselves in at the table, then unfortunately we were going to have more conversations just like this.
King Apollo?
Go to somebody else. What I gotta say is more than a minute. I only got a minute left. So.
India.
I would just definitely say, like that last sentence, rather a couple of sentences that John Carlos said, just instantly brought me straight back to Two Different Strangers. Mm-hmm. You just like really have to watch. I feel like everybody should watch it at least like 4 or 5 times. It's really freaking great short film. Yeah. And I feel like it'll help people to understand, like, foot on shoe, you know what I mean? Put your foot in somebody else's shoes for real and actually get a better understanding. And it's sad because even though you say our counterparts, they live in a different reality and they need to understand it. I feel like even once they do understand, or even once they catch that knowledge, they'll never really understand it like that. And unfortunately, in that movie, it depicts that exactly, where there's a moment and it's like you think that it's relatable, you think everything's okay, you think everything's good, but then it just turns around in a quick snap, and it's just like, but you're still who you are, and I'm still who I am. Right. And it sucks, and I would love a change, but even those who aren't bigots or racists, or you know what I mean, and that do either date or be around Black and brown people and have Black and there's some of them that do have a subconscious that they don't even know about, that is judging and profiling us at every second, every moment of every day.
Lou.
Well, I touched on it before a little bit. I think the background checks and mental health programs, and people of the community policing the community is very important, man. There's just a certain relatability, when you get pulled over by a cop that knows you, or you've run into before, or you've seen at the local restaurant. You maybe even had sparked a conversation up about something non-related. And, at that point, the cop is just like, you know what? You messed up, whatever, gives you a little bit of a pep talk, sends you on your way, rather than being in a position where, I had one time where I had my cousin in my car and we had a BB gun on the floor because we were shooting whatever we were doing, and cop pulls up to the car, sees literally opens up my passenger door and starts kicking my cousin. You got a gun? He's kicking him. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. What the fuck's going on? He's getting beat up. Stomped out in the passenger seat. So I think, people from the community, policing the community, background checks, and health and wellness, man, therapy, all of these things. And the hate is real regardless. People are going to hate on you always.
Follow, close it out.
As a dad, there's no way for me to tell my son that you can't sleep, you can't buy Skittles,
60 seconds.
You can't, all right, 60 seconds. So either way, there's too much things. I can be in somebody else's shoes and they still don't understand. You can be like, a cop's job is to go home in the evening. They're highly stressed. But as a black man, there's certain things you can't do. There's certain things you can't do. There shouldn't be rules. Understand there's scenarios, but there shouldn't be rules. And the fact that I can't sleep in my own home without getting shot, the fact that I can't go buy Skittles without somebody being racist, the fact that you can't even say certain things on Xbox without people thinking that the N-word is some kind of spice to flavor up their conversation is a whole nother topic that I can't get into much because there's 30 seconds remaining, and that's that.
Yo, great conversation. Y'all have a great night.
10 seconds.
Thank you all for watching Social Thought, listening to Social Thought. We'll be back next week with some more deep topics, possibly on love. Because that's just what we do.
It's good.
I'm the only single one, apparently.
Good to see everybody again.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Goodbye. With that being said,
Easy, y'all.
as I said, I'm your host, Michael. That is King Apollo. That's Lou. That's Giancarlo. That's India. I'll see you all next week on another beautiful episode of Social Thought. You've all been beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Yo.
Peace.